Hey everybody, so doing a quick little live stream here. I'm putting together a little bike, so figured while I'm doing that, I would talk to you guys and see how it's going. But this is nothing crazy, just a short little live stream to kill some time. But yeah, so anyway, I'm hanging out in California for a few days, and it's actually pretty nice weather here. So it's kind of cool because it is, not as hot as Arizona. Arizona is cool, but yeah, some of that weather, man. But anyway, I gotta put this little bike together, which I pretty much am almost done. I'm just tightening this little bolt here, and that's pretty much it. But I have to look at the directions here because I think I got it all together the right way. These directions aren't exactly the most accurate things in the world, but they work. Hello, bearded tattoo guy. No video. Can you hear me? Because it's showing up as video. I wouldn't know how to. I wouldn't know how to change it to be video. It should be video. Let me hang on. Let's. All right. Audio but no video. All right. How about now? Now is there video? I switched the cameras around a little bit. So we'll see if that works. If not, I might have to restart this because there should be video. Like I'm staring at myself, but obviously, let me refresh in my end. All right. I'm gonna say I don't. I'm not doubting what you're saying. I don't know what I could do to fix it, except restart the whole shebang. But anyway, I'm putting together this little bike here. And it is a birthday present for my niece, so I gotta put together. But we're gonna see what happens here in a minute. Close my Ring app was open. Oh, okay, no worries. Hey, I don't like technology either. Hello, Vanessa Kitty, how's it going? This is just a real short, quick little live stream while I am assembling a. What am I assembling? A Cricket Baby Walker bike. I don't know, it's this thing. It's for my niece, so I'm putting it together. What do you think about the cosmic enigma of the unfortunately, I haven't studied the cosmic enigma of. I'm guessing that's a reference from a movie. I don't know. Nice Ray-Bans. Thank you. So these are actually prescription, which is nice because when I had insurance for at the time to get glasses, and it was pretty nice because you get to get a little bit of a discount on fancy sunglasses like this because they're prescription, so I can't see without them. But yeah, they're pretty nice. I like them for I like them honestly. I've been using them as basically everything. Like if I go to the range, I will wear these over anything else. And yeah, I know I'm sure ballistic glasses may be a little bit better, but honestly, I've never had any issues with these, and they do pretty good. And plus, out in the desert, it's always bright and sunny, so these are really helpful. But thank you. I got my first pair of eyeglasses in 1967. Yeah, well, I'm guessing back then, what you like a pair of aviators or something like that? What were you getting back in the 60s? Oh, eyeglasses. I was sorry, I forgot we weren't talking about eyeglasses. What kind of eyeglasses you get back then? But I'm sure it wasn't aviators for regular eyeglasses. Sorry, I've not been with traveling and everything. You don't get the most sleep. So. What aviator eyeglasses? Oh, nice. Hello, Sophie. How you doing? If I mispronounced your name, I apologize. I'm terrible with names. It's not my strong suit, but I try and do what I can. Today we are doing a short little live stream. I am putting together a little cricket walker thingamabob that has these fancy directions. There's actually a funny story about that I'll tell in a minute because this is the second one of these we had to get. It's for my niece. Plastic ones back then. I was 6. Very cool, very cool. Are on the southern end? Yes. Yeah, I'm in SoCal. We're in the southern end of California. So yeah, it's actually pretty nice weather. But so the funny story about this little bike thing, right? So this is for my niece, right? And I'm sure she'll like it. I don't know. We'll find out. And we're doing her birthday party. And basically, what happened was, so we ordered this for her like a month ago, right? Like in September. And I knew it had to be assembled, but whatever. We all get around to it at some point. We all live, we all live in a yellow submarine looking cowboy. Hey, Emma, what's up? Steven Sheets, what's up? Good evening. So I ordered it. We ordered it like a month ago, and I'm like, it was a couple days before we were gonna leave. Like it was like 2 days ago, right? From Tucson to San Diego, where I lived in Tucson. Yeah, it sounds like a hell of a drive. Because I know we're like in the Phoenix area, and that's like, damn man, that's 7 hours, and that's a hell of a drive. Oh yes, I'm sure. I'll tell her you said happy birthday. The party will be I think tomorrow, but that's why I got to get this all done. So anyway, we ordered one of these a month ago, right? And it came in a normal Amazon box. I didn't even open it, right? Because I knew I had to put it together. But you know how it is. You procrastinate things and stuff like that. Um, and so it was like a day or so before we were leaving for the trip. And I'm like, all right, I've procrastinated. I got to put this damn thing together. So I go and I open the box, and it's all these parts, right? And they're just like they're disassembled, and they're like in a bag. Like I don't know if you've ever gotten like an Amazon return that comes in like a bag, but that's what it was. It was like a bag, and they were dirty. The first thing I noticed was the seat post here. Which the funny thing is, on this one it's attached. I just haven't taken the bag and everything off. The seat was removed, and there was rust on the seat post, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. Yeah, California is huge. Like we get into California, and it's still like another 3.5 hours to get, like LA area. Um, so I'm like, oh, this is weird. This looks used. So I start looking, and again, this is the new one, but the handlebars were all dirty, and like the wheels were all dirty, and they had like wear on them. I'm like, wait a minute, this thing's used. So I end up having to call Amazon, and I'm like, so here's the deal. We bought this new, no, we didn't. I know there's options to like buy a used one, get a discount. Well, we brought it new because, hey, people are weird about baby toys. I don't blame them. And what happened was I called him. I'm like, this is not only is this not okay, but I now need a replacement, and you're gonna have to mail it to California because we're leaving. Like I'm leaving to go to this birthday party, and like basically I now don't have a gift because you've sent me this. So they end up shipping a brand new one to, yeah, there's a lot of scammers on Amazon. I don't know what the deal is with this, like, because I said to him on the phone, I'm like, this, like, here is the box that the new one came in, right? Like, luckily we got it. Like, it was not in this box. It was literally in, like a plastic bag that, like, kind of like when you go to, I don't know if you've done like returns where you go to UPS or whatever, or FedEx, and you hand them the item and they put it in a bag and it goes. That's what it was in. And I'm like, now I'm annoyed because I've got to mail this back. So they end up picking up the old one, or they haven't picked up the old one yet. But they said that, okay, we're going to send someone to pick up the old one, and then they're going to mail the new one. So they mail the new one. I've got it. Thankfully, they got it to us in time because, again, the party's tomorrow. Um, and then they said, someone will, basically UPS or someone's going to pick it up. I'm like, great, I'm going to put it in the box, and like we're leaving. So like I'm sitting in on the front door, and that's it. Like it's waiting there for you. So anyway, we watched on our doorbell camera yesterday. UPS came, we literally see the guy stare at the box to be picked up, right? And he just stares at it and he walks away. So then my wife had to call Amazon again and be like, hey, so the UPS guy came and he stared at this box that's sitting there, it's a pickup, he knows exactly what he's picking up, and just left it there. So this is kind of your problem. You want the item back, you need to facilitate and tell UPS to actually pick it up. So it's still sitting on my front porch. But the important thing is I got a replacement, and I'm in the process of putting it together. And I don't know, she's like 1 or whatever, so this looks like it's gonna be fun. So turn the handle. Handle turns kind of tight, so I don't know. I don't know if that's meant to be turned by her or what, but I'm sure maybe it'll loosen up if she uses it. But yeah, it's a handy little thing. I guess you like ride on it and whatnot. So I don't know. Kind of neat thing made in Yongyang, China. So interesting. I don't know. But yeah, so we got the replacement, but it was quite the ordeal to get it done because I basically had to call Amazon and fight through with. If you ever try and call Amazon, it's quite the pain in the ass because they do not want to get you on the phone. I've had that a couple times where Amazon just says keep it. The one time I was actually trying to return a Spyderco knife, and it was very interesting because there was a little like chip on the edge, like where the circle is in the blade, the hole is. There was a chip, right? Like it was. Oh, hey Scott, how's it going? Doing all right? Um, and I tried to return it. I'm like, hey, like, it's a $200 knife. Like, I don't want this. Swap it, right? And it had cut my finger a little bit, so there was some blood on it, right? And I'm like, hey, just being upfront, like I'm gonna bring this knife into into whatever, and they're gonna see the blood and be like, oh hell no, right? And of course you're dealing with people, in a third world country, so you're not getting the best customer service. It's like, oh no, no, just take it in, it'll be fine. Well, guess what? I called UPS and I said, hey, so I've got this knife I need to return. It cut my hand, and there's blood on it. Oh yeah, we don't touch that. So, Woods, hello. Oh, is Woods in here? Oh, going back to Cali. Yeah, I'm actually in California as we speak. But yeah, they basically after that I called it and I got someone in the U.S. and they said keep it. There's been a couple times where they've just told us to keep like Amazon returns. I think it has something to do with like the fact that they're not really anything that they can do with it, like depending upon the return, and it's just cheaper for them to tell you to keep it. But this they wanted back, like this, they wanted the used version of this back. So it's like, all right, you know what, you want it back, you deal with getting it back. But hey, Woods, um, going no California. Okay, here's the reality, and I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna be a controversial thing. Yeah, sue me. They probably do write off on their taxes. California, very, very tough laws on a lot of things, very high cost of living. Do you still need a passport to get into that country? No. Honestly, the weather, everything else, yeah, I prefer California weather over Arizona. Like Arizona has a lot of cool freedoms, and I dig being able to go out in the desert and, like have fun and, skeet and all that. But honestly, man, California weather, like, it's still hot in Phoenix. Like, it's finally down into the 80s and 90s, daytime weather. And meanwhile, here, like, they're in a little bit of a heat wave, and their heat wave is the 80s. Whereas, like, we've cooled off in Phoenix, and that's the 80s. I've had to return EGR modulator 3 times. Yeah, I've had a couple times. I actually got some of those little, what was it? The Savior equipment, the little ammo pouches or whatever. I forget what it was. I think it was little ammo pouches, and which are really cool. I really like them. I'm not like sponsored or anything, but they're really cool. Um, and I called Amazon because they shipped it like literally just in the packaging, which was basically just like a little like clear zipper bag, and they just stuck a label on that. And I'm guessing Savior, I don't know. I've looked a little bit into Amazon, and I think apparently you have to like I think it's something where you have to like select if you're selling your stuff on Amazon how they pack it. And I'm guessing they didn't want to pay for packaging, so they just said, "Oh, slap the label on the item." So twice I ordered them, and twice, like I got there, and I'm like, "Well, literally the zipper was open, and there was a missing bag," and I'm like, "Look, it's a pack of 4. I want my pack of 4." and twice they sent replacements and they were missing. And finally, they said, well, at this point the only option is to just return them. And I'm like, well, I still want the item. I just want like a full pack of 4. So yeah, sometimes it can be quite annoying, with because like, they don't. It's almost like there's a failure to communicate somewhere. It's 52 here, and yeah, I know parts of the country is really starting to cool off. That's what I was talking to somebody in the one shop here, and they said, "Why is Phoenix, kind of shitty?" And I said, "I'm like, here's the reality. Like, it's mid-October, and finally, it's finally dipping like you don't have to worry about it going into 100 for the most part. Less wildfires in Arizona. Arizona or Nevada. I don't know about Nevada, but yeah, there's a lot less. There was a fire burning near Phoenix, and I think they just kind of let it go because it's out in the desert, and, water shortages and everything. So I think they just kind of let it go. But yeah, you don't hear much about crazy fires, although California do. I got a new HKP 2000. Oh, nice. Very nice. 73 Modesto. Yeah, that sounds very nice. It was 81 earlier in New Hampshire. Yeah, 80. See, that's what so of course, everybody I talk to now is on the West Coast, and I've had to explain that, like, East Coast, yeah, you'll get some cooler weather, but you'll also get some humidity. So I wonder with that 81 how humid it was. Because, Pennsylvania, you'd get high 90s. You'd see 101, 102 in the dead heat of summer, but you'd also have some pretty high humid days. Yeah, so that was actually the funny thing. I had the joy of calling SoCal Edison because they shut our power off for Thanksgiving, I think it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, because it was super windy, and it was, quote, to save against fires. And the problem was, it got explained to me that SoCal Edison got a bunch of extra money years ago to bury the electrical lines and stuff in the ground so they didn't have to worry about lines falling. Because that's what they say causes fires is, the lines will fall and then set the brush on fire and you got the fire. So I had the joy of calling SoCal Edison, and it was like, I forget if it was either Thanksgiving or Christmas. It was a holiday, and being like, so you've turned off my power for a holiday because of the windy conditions create a fire risk. And meanwhile, why is it like 20 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever, you got all this money to bury the lines? And of course they have no answer for that, but I figured it was kind of a rite of passage as a Californian to call SoCal Edison and bitch him out for turning the power off on a holiday. Oh, it's good it wasn't humid. Yeah, like humidity would dump down. It was sometimes, it wasn't like all the times. Arizona is ancient native. Yeah, so I was actually watching a video because Phoenix's highway system is very behind compared to like LA and different cities. And I watched a video talking about how they basically they didn't want, like, the Arizona didn't want all this infrastructure, and they didn't want that. And then of course they have the Native American reservations that I guess border some of the areas, making it difficult to build large highways. So it was kind of interesting that, like, they've got kind of like an interesting, relationship with some of the Native American reservation areas that kind of create some interesting situations. Sun hates you. Yes, the sun does hate me. I don't tan. I just burn. Goon hard edge. Well, I don't know what that means, but thank you. Eat healthy 85. But yeah, I'm putting this together, and pretty good. I don't know. I guess I think the whole concept is they just kind of ride on it and then like walk around on it. I don't know. Kind of a neat thing. Kind of a cool color scheme. I'm digging like the saddle tan, like vinyl pleather. That's kind of a neat look. But yeah, I think she'll like it. I don't know. Pretty cool. But sure she'll be rolling around on it. Who has the cat? Was there a cat behind me? There is a cat. But I put him in. Our cat's at home. We left the animals at home. Who has the cat? Your cat. So the dogs and the cat got left at home, and we have someone that goes and checks on them a few times a day, and lets them out and everything, and feeds them and everything. So they're at home for now, but we'd like to bring them, but unfortunately, so Lou is pretty good with animals. Cooper is not. Cooper is kind of a. Hang on, I'm gonna move this a little bit here because of the sun. Um, there we go. So Cooper's not really the best with animals. He does eventually figure it out, but it's just easier to leave him home because he just doesn't do very well. Lou, on the other hand, is pretty good. Elmer, the cat, really hates the car. Like, the only time he's been in the car with us is when my wife was bringing him home to surprise me. After the incident, what happened with the last cat. Um, but she said, like, you could tell he was very unhappy and anxious in the car. So it would be a very difficult thing to try and bring three animals on a road trip like this, especially, when we're doing other things. So they're at home for now, but that'll be interesting. Let's see, tool on this. I'll run this for a little bit. I'll run that. You know what? I'll probably run this to like 6. Yes, we have a sitter for him. So the one woman we have that looks in on them, she stops by I think like 4 times a day. But what we're looking at maybe doing is maybe changing it because we think it might be better for them. Is just getting someone that kind of like sits at the house with them because I think it might be about the same amount, but for now we just have someone that they stop in like every few hours to check on them. So yes, we have a sitter. Let me see. It's always funny reading directions on some of this stuff. What's your carry on the road trip? So unfortunately, in California, you can't really carry anything. So I am obeying all of the laws in California regarding carry. So I don't actually have anything with me. Use a 4mm hex wrench. Remove the bolt. Keep the bolt handy. You will reinstall this in a moment. Yeah, I don't get like leaving alone for days. Like, okay, the cat is so damn self-sufficient. Like, the cat's not even a year old, and like we got him an automatic litter box, which works really good, and he's on like an automatic feeder, and he's got a little water bowl. And honestly, like, the cat like comes and visits you and like interacts with you, and after that, he just kind of goes and does his own thing. So he'd be fine for like a couple days. Like, he probably wouldn't care. The dogs, on the other hand, no, I would never want to leave them alone like that for a couple days, even if they had access to outside, because it's just not fair to them. Like, we feel bad leaving them like this, but it's just easier that way. Like, them coming here, it would be difficult because, where we're staying, they have dogs. And again, with Cooper not being very good with dogs and they're not very good, it just, you'd spend more time trying to, settle everybody in. Cats sleep like 14 or 15 hours a day, so they won't even know you were, exactly. Like, he has his little chair that he kind of sleeps in, and yeah, like that. Like, if it was just him, honestly, you know what? I would just like overflow the feeder, because it's automatic little feeder, and empty out his automatic litter box, and he'd be good for a week. Like seriously, he'd be good easily for a week. But we're only gone for like a couple more days. Break any more Smith and Wessons lately? No, actually. So I got rid of every single one of my modern production Smiths, like every single one, including ending with the 329 PD, which I was sad about getting rid of. Two I was really sad about getting rid of was my 329 PD and my 638. The 638 I was sad about getting rid of because well, it was my little pocket gun, but it from day one it was kind of stiff to open, and I was much younger when I bought it, so I was like, oh, it's my first revolver. I'm like, oh, it must just be stiff because it's small and whatever. And then as I owned more revolvers, I started realizing, oh, every single thing I have opens smooth except for this. The drag line on the back of the frame where the cylinder opens is excessively deep. This thing's out of whack, and it's been out of whack since day one. And yeah, I could try and send it in the Smith, but I doubt they're going to replace it. So I got rid of it. And then the 329 PD had a trigger reset issue that after three times, or no, I'm sorry, two times back to Smith, they still hadn't corrected it. And the night I got rid of it, I found a picture online. Somebody on Facebook was showing a blown up one, and I've seen too many blown up 329 PDs, and I know plenty of people have thousands of rounds through theirs, and they're happy with them, and I liked mine, except for the trigger reset issue and the fact that, let's see, the trigger was failing to reset, the rear sight was coming undone. It was just yeah, but it it was just time to get rid of it. But other than that, everything else I didn't mind. But I'm slowly replacing stuff. You can carry in California. It's illegal for them to make. You know, I really do agree with you as far as the illegal and like. I really wish somebody would take a case to the Supreme Court and that basically their laws are unconstitutional and all that. But it ain't gonna be me, unfortunately. Oh, hello, that bearded and tattooed guy's wife. How's it going? I only look for the vintage Smiths with the pin barrel. Yeah, so that's basically like I mean, obviously everybody wants them, because that's the most desirable Smith and Wesson. My wife actually has a Model 36 with a pinned barrel, but I've managed to track down. I don't know, some music. I don't know if you guys hear it. I don't know what it is. I have two 29-3s, a 4-inch and a 6-inch. I have a 17-6, which I actually have to figure out because they have like matched the 17s. I didn't know this until I got one, but the older blued 17s, the 6-shot, they have like match grade chambers in the cylinder, and they're very tight. And certain ammos, like after a couple cylinders, it becomes very difficult to eject the rounds. And it's not really a design flaw, it's just how they are. So I'm going to start troubleshooting. I have three levels of how I'm going to try and figure out how to make it work. Level one is a lot of people actually asked online and people gave me options. Level one is I'm going to try and use brass or copper plated ammo. That's level one. Level two is I'm going to try and I'm going to try and polish the chambers. That's a lot of people said that, a quick polish of the chambers can help with sticky ejection. And then level three is I can get them reamed out. Now, level three is get them reamed out or, let someone else have a gun that requires fancy, match grade 22. Darren goes, he's working on a case against California right now. He's arrested for having a gun in his truck. I wish him the best of luck. Like really, I'd love to see some of this unconstitutional stuff get shoved out. Um, it really is kind of, it kind of is pathetic. I mean, you know, but I wish them the best of luck. It'd be nice if they'd get some forward movement on that. Let's see. But yeah, I basically have been replacing them with all old Smiths. In fact, I've been trying to replace my little J frame for a while. I'm thinking of getting the what is it? The LC the LCR. I've been kind of kicking it around for a little bit. All my holsters and everything are for J frames, so the only holster that would probably still work would be my little ankle holster. But my pocket holsters and everything would all. Unfortunately, I got a really nice aholster.com. It's kind of a one-man operation, so he didn't really plan much at the name, but it's called A Holster, and it's a website. Um, he makes Kydex pocket holsters, which are actually really nice. I was a little skeptical until I used it, and I really liked it. but it's formed for a J-frame, so I'd have to get another one of them if I get an LCR. But I'm really debating an LCR. I kind of like the idea of an SP101, but the reason I'm going LCR or an older J-frame for my pocket revolver is just that, because I want it for a pocket, and the SP101 being all steel, while it's a good gun, is too heavy. So that's what I'm really thinking of, either an older J-frame or a new LCR. My wife would like to carry at work, but can't even if it's legal. She works graveyard for a mentally disabled guest home. So I can talk about this now because my work situation, but so pretty much every single job out there, no firearms, no weapons, zero tolerance, all that. Um, the I worked for a grocery store chain, and pretty much right after I turned 21, like it was a couple years after that, I started carrying. I had my little CW 380, and I made a little pocket holster for it. And I did a video talking about this, and it's an ugly little pocket holster, but it works. And that's what I carried. Like I carried it at work in my front pocket, and I basically I had a little slim wallet that I still carry to this day, new version of it because the old one broke, and I basically carried that in my front pocket because I was working at they had a little gas station, and I'm like, you know what? Here's the reality. I'm at this gas station by myself. If this thing gets held up, look, I'm behind bullet resistant glass. So here's the reality. If if I get held up, they're getting all the money because I don't care, and that's what I was told to do anyway. But you know what? If they start like trying to shoot up the place or whatever's going on, uh, workman's comp or whatever ain't gonna handle, ain't gonna cover me if I get shot, if I die. So I'm gonna carry, I carried my little, plus I was working third shift at the time, so it's like I'm carrying my little CW 380. But basically for me, it was only against company policy. And that's what I said in my video. I kind of talked about it. And I'm like, here's the reality. If you're going to carry at work, you need to make sure, one, that it's only against company policy, not illegal. If it's illegal, you're in a whole nother can of worms. But against company policy, the most that's going to happen is you're going to get fired. So I took the risk. I never got fired. And I carried my little car CW380 for many years. In fact, it was my most carried gun, which is kind of sad because compared to some of the other stuff I carry, it was kind of lame, but good little 380. SPO 101 is awesomeness defined. You'd be 20% cooler. I've kicked around an SP 101 for years, and here's what stops me. I think it's a cool gun. I really like the little 2-inch concealed hammer models. The little bobbed hammer models. But here's the thing. It's that, or say a King Cobra in 2-inch with a concealed hammer that's a 6-shot. Or, and the thing is, I've got my 3-inch now of the King Cobra. It doesn't have a concealed hammer or bobbed hammer, but I really like the little 2-inch snub nose revolvers that are lighter for in a pocket. And the SP 101, and I had a Kimber that I used to have, and they're too heavy in all steel. Like it feels like a rock in your pocket, and one, you're gonna wear out your pocket because nowadays they make clothing all cheap, so you're already wearing out your pockets. But I kind of debate an SP 101 just as another gun to have, but they're pretty cool. I've shot a couple. They're a nice little thing. So I do debate the SP 101. I got 3 likes, 5 people watching. I am in Southern California putting together a retro spec Cricket Baby Walker bike. Here's the Cricket Baby Walker bike. And I'm talking to you guys for a little bit longer, but then I have to go and do some other stuff. So the thing is, most clients are handsy and have the mental capacity about 12 and reach in your pocket. See, that's one of those things where I can understand not carrying, because yeah, that's the kind of thing that could really be a bad situation. So I get it. I get not carrying in that situation. Um, I tried ankle carry for a little bit at work, and for me, because I was stocking, like I was at the gas station, that was easy, by myself, nobody saw anything. But when I was stocking shelves, um, I was worried with ankle carry about basically that my pant leg was going to ride up as I was like, basically, you're on your knees, putting, in front of a shelf, putting stuff on a shelf. So I was worried my pant leg was going to ride up and you'd see the bottom of the barrel. But I liked ankle carry for that kind of stuff. But yeah, I can see why you wouldn't carry in that situation. My thighs are too big for pocket carry. But I can easily get IW. There you go. IWB is pretty good. I don't like IWB for work because in a non-permissive environment like that, the thing is, all it takes is, one person to think they see it or, whatever, and then they go to a manager and, oh, I thought I saw this, and you get hauled in the office, and then you've got to, oh, well, you carrying a gun, and half the time they probably just call the cops because, depending upon the kind of manager you're dealing with, they're not going to be chill about that because, well, it's like how their company policy, zero tolerance weapons, wasp spray at work. Yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, if you can't carry a gun, a can of some kind of spray you don't want in your face, probably not a bad idea. But yeah, I can get that. But this thing, I think I've got this. The only thing I wonder with this little thing is I don't know if they're supposed to be able to turn the handle because it's kind of like tough to turn. But I don't know how much they're turning the handle because like I don't know, maybe it like loosens up. Yeah, it probably just loosens up over time. I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to oil anything. It's just plastic. I tried angle carry until I almost mugged and I realized I had to give up a fighting position to get to it. Yeah, so that's one of the downsides about ankle carry. And I like it for backup guns and I like it when you're in situations where you really, it's all you can do. And again, I like the thing I like about a little LCR or J frame is because it's light, because it's small. You can put it on your belt, you can put it on an ankle holster, you can put it on a shoulder rig, you can put it in your pocket, you can put it in a belly band. Light, small guns, as much as I love carrying, a lot of times I carry my big old 29-3 4-inch, which is basically you have tube options, inside the waistband or outside the waistband. But light, small guns, at the end of the day, are they're practical in the sense that you can have one gun and you'll end up having 5 different holsters for that gun because then you can oh, I'm going for a run and I can't really do ankle carry because it's going to be annoying. Okay, well, I can stick it in a pocket or a belly band. Hey, I'm wearing shorts that day. I can't put it on my ankle. Okay, pocket, belly band, whatever. Hey, you know what? I'm doing this thing, so I've got to run out to the store. So I've got to run out to the store, and I'm wearing pajama pants because it's 10 o'clock at night, and I'm just going down to the corner store for a gallon of milk. So I can't put it in my pocket or on my belt because I'm wearing pajama pants. You can put it on your ankle because that doesn't need anything, or you can put it, if you're putting a jacket on, you put a shoulder rig on. So I really like having small, lightweight guns as an option in your carry rotation. But yeah, that's the downside to ankle carry is yeah, you have to expect it. It's gonna take a second or two to get to it, and you're probably gonna be kneeling when you get to it. I think Clint Smith was the person that talked about one of the benefits of ankle carry is, he talked about being an old guy and basically, he's probably already going to be on the ground anyway, so you can bring your leg up and grab it. But yeah, ankle carry definitely has its downsides. Gun lube can make, oh yeah, fire extinguisher is a good weapon too. Gun lube can make that handle move smoother. I don't know if you're supposed to lubricate it. Like, I don't know if I should just sit here and, like, turn it back and forth a bunch. Because, really, so I think it's pretty much together. And I think the only thing all you really did was undo this screw, put the handle in, put the wheels in, and then put the screw back in. Now it's tight, but I don't think the tightness of the screw dictates how tight this is. So, and it didn't say in the directions. Where did I put the directions? Good thing it's already together because I lost the directions. It didn't say anything about tighten securely, push the handlebars in the main tube and front wheels. Again, making sure both parts are fully engaged and flush the body. The bolt will be facing outward toward, see, and that's it. Like that's, so I guess it's good. I guess it'll just loosen up as she uses it. I have a backup G42. I can tell it's for underwear carrier. I tell people it's, yeah, I mean, you know what? Little gun like that, it's a good, why am I running? Is there bears? Well, I mean, if you carry a big enough gun, you don't have to run from the bear, right? I did buy my wife a belt buckle shot, 2-shot Derringer. She'd wear it. It goes to the same shooting range. Yeah, I debated like one of those North American arms, and the thing with that is like I don't know. I figured like we like all gun guys know about those things, so it's like you're gonna get stopped and oh hey that's neat. Like you might as well open carry at that point. Let's see. I carry like the Mandalorian. Guns are my religion. Yes, I agree with that. The kid will just pick up the front. Yeah, pretty much. That's like, you know what? I mean, I'm calling this project done. Like this is the replacement. I think I was telling the story earlier about how this is the new one because the first one was crap. So I'm calling it done. They aren't going to turn anything yet. Probably not. Nothing with the screw. Yeah. Oh, hey, Night Strike. What's up? Um. Yeah, it just I don't know. It like stops, so yeah, I'm calling it done. Like she'll pick it up. I don't know. She'll have fun. I'm sure she'll have a ball. She's just started talking a little bit, so she's I got allergies. It's all green out here, which is lovely to look at, but you end up freaking like I'm all congested and everything. I had to keep drinking water to try and flush it through me. But let's see. What was I saying? Just like that, I forgot. Oh, A Night Strike. Yep, yep. Bought my wife. Bought my wife gun. She only carries my gun. Yeah, that's how it is. My wife. I have my little Henry 22, and she's claimed that. I actually just got her a LCP Max. She likes it a lot. So we haven't shot it yet because we bought it. It's anniversary present that I got her early, and she hasn't shot it yet. So we're hoping to go out to the desert and try it out. But that's what I got her because I know she'd carry something small in the pocket. First one had rust. Oh yeah. So for those that want to hear an interesting story about a child's bicycle or pedal push thing. Um, the first one of these I got, and the reason I'm assembling it now, a day before the party, is we ordered this about a month ago, and it showed up in a box and all that, right ever, and I procrastinated. I left it go. Um, and what ended up happening was I opened the box up like yesterday, right? Or the day before, and I'm like, all right, you know what? Time to put this damn thing together. We're leaving like the next day, so I need to put this together for her to play with. And it came in this nice box this time, right? Like this nice, box and packaged. And when I opened the Amazon box, it came in a bag. The first one came in like a bag for Amazon returns, and like here along the seat post was all rusty, and like everything was disassembled and everything, and like the wheels were all dirty, and it was all dirty because it's white, so it shows dirt pretty good. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So come to find out, someone returned it and Amazon resold it as used. So I ended up having to call them, complain to them, be like, yeah, so you shouldn't have sent this used. This is used. You should have sold it as used, not new. And then said, I'm like, so here's the deal. This party is in like 2 days and I'm leaving. Like, I'm literally leaving tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I need a replacement sent. So they sent a replacement, put a discount on, and told me to leave the old one on my front porch and they had it picked up. So they did end up getting it to me and I got it all together now. So we're good. But yeah, it was definitely kind of a, hey, you're about to screw up this little kid's birthday party. All right, what have I missed? I'm from Arizona and have lived in California. Please tell me more about it. California is pretty cool in some ways. Politics, fail. Laws, fail. Cost of living, fail. Vibe, it's pretty beautiful. Like, you drive around California and it's got some beautiful landscape. It's really a nice place to visit, and the weather's really nice. It's actually like a lot of people really hate California and they really hate Californians. And I think the problem is they hate the politics and the cost of California. But like, when we lived out here, I ran into more conservative minded people, more people that were pro Second Amendment, pro First Amendment, pro, basically anything any red bloods American could be. And they were just normal people. So it's a shame that California, people, oh, jumping ship and all that. And look, a lot of people are leaving. I mean, hell, we left because the cost of living it's impossible. It's nuts. But honestly, it's a pretty cool place. Like, it gets all the hate, but honestly, it's pretty cool. All right, hi Kitty, please keep us upgraded backyard. At least once a year, you'll have allergy prone. Yeah, when we stayed here, like, you would get terrible allergy days, especially after the rain. But you get that in Arizona because everything's a desert plant. So the first hint of rain, it just goes into overdrive as far as like pollen and everything. So, year I moved to Tucson was a year rained more than had 100 years. So that's funny thing was that's how it was in California when we were leaving. Is it was like a terrible year for rain. Like, it just constantly rained. Like, it was day after day after day, and everybody. It was funny because like I'm used to rain from Pennsylvania. Everybody's like, it doesn't do this, and I'm like, this is just rain to me. Like, I'm used to it. So yeah, it's crazy sometimes when it gets nutso rain. Mm. I still live in California. It happened a lot in the 80s and 90s. Ordered a 32 HMR and consider HMR 3 ballistic vehicles. So I have looked. I was really trying to love 327 Magnum, and I don't hate it. But here's why. Here's why it doesn't make the cut for me. I looked at the LCR and 327 Magnum. I was all interested, and then I realized, from what I've learned, the 327 Magnum LCR is a steel framed gun. Like, the parts that would be aluminum on on like the LCR and 38, making it light, are steel. It's basically the same weight as the 5-shot 357 Magnum version. So perfectly good, no issue with it. A lot of people, I'm sure it serves well, but I'm specifically looking for something in the lighter range, but in a pocket. So that's why it kind of got disqualified, because I really like the idea of 327 Magnum. I'm not against it, but again, I prefer an airweight gun for in the pocket. So that's kind of, because I got my King Cobra in 3-inch, that's all steel, and it's 357 Magnum. So for me, I really want it. If they made like a lighter version of the LCR and 327 Magnum, I'd be all into it because that extra shot is really nice. 92, my gun. My work has no dangerous item policy, but the owner keep guns anywhere. Oh yeah, gotta love Texans. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's neat to see. I know there's places that they don't mind carrying, they embrace it. Usually they're smaller rather than larger, but hey, that's awesome if you got a company like that. Worked for gray return bag. Yeah, it was a return bag. It was just like it was clear, but yeah, it was like when I've taken returns in, I've seen them shove it in the same bag. So I don't know why Amazon pushed that through as a new item. The shame is you're forsaken and hello, barbecue. So I still carry the 44, not here, obviously, and I still carry my 1911s. The reality is, especially in the summertime, it doesn't matter what you do in Arizona, you sweat. You sweat all over everything. And I keep getting rust on stuff. And you take it and you clean it, like my 4-inch 29-3. I have to take the grips off. I have to take the grips off basically once a week as if I'm carrying it and wipe it down. And it's not that big a deal, but hey, you know what? It'd be nice to have something that you don't have to care as much. So that's why I'm looking at like a polymer frame sump for carry. I'm looking at a couple Berettas. I'm debating replacing my little CW380 car that I used to carry for work with the new Beretta 30X, the little 32 ACP models. I keep hearing different things on them though, like some good, some bad. So I'm debating it, but I haven't been sold on it yet. I don't want to get one of the older. I know it's Bobcat, Tomcat. I forget which is which, but basically the old uh, 32 Berettas, because I heard that basically the issues with the frame cracking or the slide cracking if you run too powerful of 32 ACP, which who knew there's too powerful of 32 ACP, but apparently there is. 320, 327 would have to for LCR. Yeah, that's what I bet you're right about that is um I'm not live from a kid's birthday party. I'm preparing for a kid's birthday party. Um, let's see. Would have to go. I'd buy that. Yeah. If so, here's what sucks. I know Taurus does some of the titanium scandium frame stuff that Smith does, and of course I won't touch the Smith stuff just because you can watch my video list to know why I won't touch new Smith and Wesson. I'd love to see other companies do it. I would love to see Colt. Colt had airweight guns. I think it was the Cobra was actually, I think the Detective Special was a steel frame, and then I think the Cobra was aluminum frame or lightweight frame version of their little 6-shot revolver. And they've recently re-released the Cobra and the King Cobra, but the Cobra was steel frame. Like I was all gung ho, I was gonna buy a new Cobra, and then I realized it was steel frame, and I'm like, what's the point of this? A 38 plus peak steel frame. That's why I got the King Cobra. But yeah, I would love to see more companies make the lighter titanium scandium frame, um, guns. I'd love to see more companies, and I'd love to see an LCR, do that with the 327 Magnum because I'd definitely buy it. Plastic guns in the hot. Ask the advantage of a plastic gun. Oh yeah, I know stuff melts. Actually, you know what? Here's the reality. All jokes aside, and I've made more, it melts and your dog eats it jokes aside. Nowadays cars are all plastic, so like if they're not gonna melt, I don't think the gun is. But yeah, I'm right there with you about making the jokes about stuff melting in the heat. I haven't seen 380. You moved back to California already? No, I'm here visiting with family for my niece's or our niece's birthday party. So I just got done putting together a little ride-on bike thing that I don't know. I'm sure she'll like it. Um, so yeah, we're not moved back, just visiting. But hey, Pete or G Webs, what's up? Let's see. I would probably go with one of the Turkish knocks off, way cheaper and probably just as good. I keep hearing different stuff on the Turkish stuff. Like I keep hearing, and I know TFB keeps doing the shotgun burn downs, but I know some of their stuff is good. I've seen, I think it was Yankee was big on the Turkish, the Tiska or Tis, I forget how he pronounced it. He made fun of it. But I know he had issues, I think, with his high-powered clone. I've just heard different things about that kind of stuff. And, I really want to, I really want to try some of the Turkish stuff, but yeah, I think um, if I was gonna get one of those little things, I'd probably get, like I said, I'm really debating a 30X or something. I forget what it's all called, but I keep hearing different things about them having issues. So, but I really am thinking about. Garson makes a nice 380 Beretta clone. Yeah, I, I really debate them, but like I said, I just don't know. Garcon actually has been making some nice clones lately. I might have to look at them. Like I said, I'm not knocking the whole, the whole turkey thing. You hear so many different things. Live from his mother-in-law's patio. Yes, yes, live from the patio. Beretta 80X3. So I like the idea of the cheetah, but the thing is I'm really looking for something pocketable. So I really think it would unfortunately have to be 32. But you know what, a little pocket gun in 32. Hey, why not? Slim, it's brighter where Slim is brighter where you're at than me, and we're in the same state. Yeah, it's so bet you, um, I bet you it's probably the camera because it's getting dark here. It's 6:08, so I'm sure it'll be dark in the next half hour. But let's see, lots of people complaining of hammer bite on the 80, and that's something in information that I'll have to keep in mind, because big hands and all that. I get a lot of hammer bite. Like my wife actually makes fun of me sometimes that um, basically, I'm constantly getting bit, and I think she said it was kind of fun. She said, I'm like, I've never seen anybody that gets more hammer bite and everything, because I try and hold real high and all that. She's just giving me a little bit of, fun. Um, but yeah, I've gotten more hammer bite and slide bite from stuff because I always, choke up on it real tall or high. So that's definitely something I have to keep in mind is, I'm probably going to get hammer bite from it. Me too, titanium J-frame. That'd be real nice. Ride on bike needs a scabbard. That'd actually be pretty nice. Something I like about this, I'm kind of digging the and it's all vinyl, but it's like the saddle tan color with the white, so I think it's a pretty cool color combination. When Beretta gets a big order for 92, it gets farmed out some. That's interesting. I wonder. I'd be curious to know about that. That they outsource, because you always hear different things about companies outsourcing stuff, or hit or miss. Just like 11s. Yeah, I've heard some of the 100 are actual garbage. Yeah, I've seen. So as far as the shotguns, I've seen. I forget. It was TFB, right? And they're a cool channel to do some stuff, but I've seen them do a lot of testing on a lot of their shotguns, and they've never worked. Like, I mean, if you want a cheap shotgun, Maverick 88. Like I've never actually owned one, but I've shot like a bunch of them, and I know people that own them, and I've never heard any complaints. So you want a cheap shotgun? Don't go fancy Turkish weird thing. Just go get a Maverick 88. All right, Night Strike, you go live, and thank you for stopping by. I always appreciate people stop by. See you. See ya. Woodstoger making nice coach. You know what? I've seen a lot of nice stuff out of Stoger, and it's funny because you know what? I know I just kind of trashed Turkish stuff, but I think it's who is it? Maybe it is Stoger. Yeah, it's Stoger. I've heard a lot of good things about Stoger. So, but I think Stoger, if I remember right, Stoger, Beretta, Benelli are all the same company. So I could see Stoger. Maybe it's produced in, like, it's kind of the thing with like a lot of stuff is made in China. It's who makes it. So I could see that Turkey makes some good stuff. It's all about who's at the helm of quality control. So I could see a really nice, Stoger, and that's something I've actually debated. Got to go. Dinner is here. Oh, there you go. Well, good luck with the tacos. I wish you luck in your tacos, and thanks for stopping by. I have one deplorable. Center dash area off ride on bike looks like a perfect revolver speed. Center dash area of ride on bike looks like perfect revolver speed loader location. Just need a hole saw. Yeah, I guess you could. She's one, so I do hope to someday maybe I get her a little Red Ryder BB gun. But for now, I think I don't get to do that yet. Been at Panzer Arms. I've heard different things about Panzer Arms. Never really looked into them a whole lot. CZ shotguns are made in Turkey, but they have company reps. See, and that's a good point. Is I didn't know that, but I mean I've heard a lot of good things about CZ. So yeah, it kind of makes sense because and look, I don't like seeing everything made in China, but that that's just the world we live in. So I really think at the end of the day, any country can produce a good product. It's who's at the helm. Is it Beretta or Benelli at the helm getting something made, checking it for quality control? Or is it, some company that doesn't care, hey, just slap me out something and send it on its way? So yeah, like I don't completely discount anybody. Like Streamlight, for instance, I think they're manufactured in China and maybe they're assembled here or something like that. I've had no issue with Streamlight. I like their stuff a lot. But so I don't mind necessarily where it's made as long as it's made good. Girl, 1 year old definitely sounds like she. Um, I don't think that would go over well. Like, unfortunately, I've killed maybe 100 ducks with my Stogram too. It still runs. Yeah, so as I get into skeet shooting and I get more and more into it, I've actually right now I have a whole I think it's a Western Ward. I think it's a Montgomery Ward, like branch. It's a Stevens, I forget the model, but it's slam fire and it's takedown. And it's got like a 30-inch barrel on it, and it's pump action. It's a nice gun. I haven't shot it yet, but that's what I'm going to be using for skeet shooting. Um, but I am kind of looking at getting either an over under or a semi-automatic for skeet shooting, and I really looked long and hard at Stoger, so it might be something I definitely consider getting. I want the A300 tactical 12 gauge. It's a pretty nice gun. I have mine, and it's pretty nice. I will say, and I talked about this in the review, there is the one thing with the loading gate, because the loading gate doesn't always stay like where you can flap it up and down. Sometimes it's like locked. People do replace the loading gate with the 1301 loading gate, and I forget there's one other part that a lot of people switch out. But oh, the tube, the extension tube. There's a little clamp on it that like clamps on the barrel and the tube, and it slides around. It's pointless. But that's like the only two parts people really swap out. And other than that, the A300 patrols are really nice shotgun. Like I've got mine, and it's only jammed twice, and that was in the break-in period. After that, it's run flawlessly. So really nice shotgun. Yeah, see, and that's a perfect example. I really enjoy my Streamlights, my O-Lights not so much. Both made in, both made in China. But Streamlight, I think has a little more. They put a little more effort in, and we're O-Light. Look, I've wanted to like O-Lights, but they can only catch fire in your pocket and all those sorts of things so many times where it's like maybe I'll just spend 20 more bucks. With guns and generally you get what you pay for. Yeah, for the most part. That's the thing is like it, I've really seen some. I know somebody talked about some of the Benelli M4 clones, and look, I think there's some good ones out there that are much cheaper than the Benelli, but some of the ones like. You know what? If you're spending a quarter of the price, there's gonna be an issue of stuff having problems. Mossberg 930JM. So before I got my A300, I was really back and forth on the new 940 or that. And I don't remember all the reasons why I finally just went Beretta. I think it was because I heard a couple issues that the Berettas were just a little more reliable, that some people had a couple teething problems with the new 940s. Not much, and I think they're a really nice shotgun. But I really, really I was literally back and forth. Like I was basically shopping to see which one I could find first. Oh, no problem. Yeah, really nice. Like I said, they're really Beretta. It's really nice because look, at the end of the day, the 1301, is still it's like a 5% better shotgun. But if you're just looking for something, A300 is a really nice shotgun. Really, any Mossy is a great gun. Yeah, Mossberg's a good gun. Like I said, I really debated the 940, and I think it was just if you had like a list of pros and cons, I think it was just a couple people I'd heard had little tiny issues, and it wasn't even putting me off the gun. It was just I found an A300 first. Be the cool uncle. Get her an SB101 painted pink. Doesn't matter how we'll go over with others. You'll be the cool uncle. That's a risk you take. I do hope someday, to get her a little Red Ryder BB gun. But for now, at one, well, little ride on bike will have to do. But yeah, I want to see someday about getting her a little Red Ryder BB gun if I'm allowed to do that. Of course, I might be responsible for new windows. Mossberg 598 tactical. Mossberg makes nice stuff. That's what I've got. I got for home defense. I've got 2 shotguns sitting in. They usually sit in opposite ends of the house, and I got the A300 Patrol, and I got the Mossberg 590 retrograde. Very nice. Hello, Squado Wizards. If I mispronounce that, I apologize. I'm terrible with names. Mossberg never fall off QC. I'm going to agree with that. I have heard 1 or 2 people, and this is the problem, is you always hear somebody crap it on a company. I've heard 1 or 2 people say that, yeah, I've heard bad things about Mossberg. I've not really seen it. I know they're lever guns. I handled a couple of their lever actions, and the one in particular I handled, it felt like you were basically trying to crank back and forth, like a weird, like, I don't know, like a toy. But yeah, their shotguns, I have never seen a failure with their shotguns in person. So they make a really nice shotgun. Mossberg, Texas made. Yeah, so that's actually the funny thing I learned was that the Maverick 88 is made in Maverick, Texas. So yeah, Mossberg's a really good company. Like for a shotgun, if you have $200 and need a shotgun, Maverick 88. I love that look, retro. He wants to carry plastic 9mm guns. He won't be a cool uncle. I don't want to carry anything plastic. It's just the reality of being in the desert and the fact you're constantly sweating all over everything, and the fact that it gets down in the grips, it gets down everything, and honestly, it's because I'm lazy. Like I'm tired of having to like constantly take off grips to like wipe down something all the time just because you've been sweating on it, and there's really no way around it. Their safeties fail. I've never heard that, but I could see that. I wonder what goes wrong in them. That's an interesting thing. I've not actually heard that, but I can see that because their safety is, I imagine, more complex than most companies. Because that's one of the things I like about them. Versus the other thing is they have, instead of the crossbow they have on the Tang, but I've seen a lot of police trade-in 870 Magnums floating around. I have too. I've actually kind of want one, but can't seem to find one that's not, ridiculous. I'm not sure if you remember me, but I had known you back in PA. Zach, maybe? I don't know, maybe. I'm terrible with remembering names, but maybe. Trench gun look. Yeah, the 590 does, let's see. Hey, if you know me, hit me up on Facebook. I think I might remember you. Trench gun look. What do you think over the PX4 Storm? 40. Here's the thing with 40. I don't hate it. I love giving crap about 40 because it's the punching bag of the ammunition world. But here's the reality. It's going out. Less and less guns in it every single day. It's harder and harder to get. I think 40 is an okay caliber. For all things, I'd get it in 9. Like, if I'm going to get a PX4 Storm, I'm going to get it in 9. So, I think it's nothing wrong with it. I just think it's a caliber that everyone hates because, the reason exists, because the whole FBI thing. So, I think it's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a fine caliber, but I don't think I'd go crazy over 40 because it just seems like every day that goes by, it becomes less and less relevant. As 9mm kind of gets more, more proficient, and, well, even 10mm is kind of making a comeback. 870 brakes at the ejector. My wife has an 870, and she had issues with the barrel rotten, so she ended up getting it Cerakoted. Carry plastic. I carry plastic guns because my back hurts. Yeah, so something I've noticed is, and I'll admit this, is so I've learned that what do I shoot best? I shoot revolvers and I shoot double single action triggers back best. And I don't shoot striker fired that well. I shoot it okay, but just not me. I don't know because I guess I'm a trigger snob. I prefer like a double single action trigger. In fact, I shoot double action revolver triggers better than I shoot striker fired. I don't know. Everybody's different. Probably just me doing something wrong because I know a lot of people shoot striker fired stuff really good. That's just me. And something that I noticed is it's actually really hard to find a polymer framed handgun in like a hammer fired double single action. So that's one of the reasons why the Beretta kind of got me interested. Springs blow out, then they flip flop, come back. At the send button, my mistake. Finishing my message. No, I've not been replaced by a skinwalker. This is me. This is the same old person I've always been. I am not a skinwalker. I am not a robot. And no, I'm kidding. I am relaxing in Southern California, but I promise you, I'm not a skinwalker. Alright, y'all fighting a good fight. Hey, goodbye, deplorable me. Thanks for stopping by. An awful too many Mossies. Never had an issue with the safety. Yeah, I've never had an issue with a Mossberg. Like I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure somebody. Look, all companies produce lemons, but I personally have not had an issue with a Mossberg. Except like I said, when I handled one of their lever actions, it was just like, and maybe it breaks in. But when I handled their lever action, I think it was a 30-30. It was a tactical model. I was just messing with it at a gun show. It was nothing impressive. Let me put it this way: it didn't come home with me. I have my own 40. I'm not concerned about ammo availability. Yeah, if ammo availability is not an issue, then I say go for it. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, and I think pretty much everybody is, I consider the bottom of the mark, we'll say 32, because I know I'm literally talking about maybe a 32. 32 and 380 is your absolute bottom. If you go below that, you're getting into like questionable of, actually having the effectiveness to stop, depending upon the person you're trying to stop. I'd say basically anything between 32 and 44 mag, and even full power 44 mag is a bit much, but you can get into like the lighter loads. Any caliber between there, I say that's a good self-defense caliber. I wouldn't go past 44 mag unless you're just doing it for the novelty. I know some people carry like a 460 and stuff like that, and you know what, you're doing it because you want to do it, and I won't stop you. Hey, even a 500 Magnum, go for it. But at the end of the day, I think for practical use, 32 to 44 mag is pretty much anything between. So yeah, if you load 40 and it's a caliber you shoot well and you like, I say go for it. Plated Glock 22s are super cheap, and you get conversion barrel for either. Yeah, so I've never actually dabbled in 357 SIG. I've debated it a million times, but I just never got around to it. I just don't eject with them. Problem solved. There you go. What kind of gun would you recommend to a beginner? I'm interested in getting into guns. 22 caliber is definitely the thing to start out with, because whenever I teach somebody to shoot, and I've taught a few people how to shoot over the years, 22 long rifle. It's cheap. You can get something. You can go out. It's not loud. It's not high recoil. You can get something cool. It's it's a good thing to learn the basics of firearm safety. It's still a gun, so you got to be very careful with it and treat it like a gun. But if you're looking for something to start out, 22, you'll have a lot of fun. The first gun I shot a lot was a Ruger 1022, and if you're looking for a rifle, a Ruger 1022 is honestly the most fun you'll have with a 22 rifle, because you can do so much to it. You can make it an M1 carbine, you can make it a Thompson, you can make it Mini 14. You can change the stock, you can change the sights, you can put different stuff on it. You get short mags, long mags, drums, anything you want on that thing, you can do to it. So I highly recommend Ruger 1022. Hell, you can even get them out here in California. I took the time to master all triggers. Funny enough, I can't shoot revolvers in single action well anymore. So when I first started revolvers, and I apologize if I'm late in the chat, but I'm trying to read these. I am trying to do that. I know. When I say I know I can't shoot striker fires, I know it's a me problem. It's not the gun. It's not because the sights are off. It's just me. But I used to shoot, a lot of single action, and with revolvers, you try and take your time and cock the hammer. I realize I don't shoot single action revolver anymore unless it's just a single action gun. I've basically trained myself to just shoot double action, and now I don't shoot single action. So I know what you mean about you don't shoot single action well anymore, because I don't do it anymore. For affordable 9 or 45, check out and that's a good. Mossberg is screwed in. Can't fix it. I've seen about the new Smith lever action, but I haven't actually seen. I've learned about it and I saw videos. I haven't actually held one. 50 AE. Yeah, you know what? 50 AE. Right on. I have 4.3. They're great. I'm not ready to load. Yeah, I've looked at 357 SIG. Good to know. I hope it's not too powerful, but I will treat it well if I get one. Pros and cons of an AR-15 for an adult first gun. Pros and cons for an adult first gun. Cons are, well, you're definitely going to get the full brunt of, the media and everything telling, not telling you, but anything you see online, everybody's going to go on about them. I think an AR-15 is, if you're only going to get one gun and you're not planning on carrying, I think an AR-15 is a good option. Here's why. You can put a 22 conversion bolt in it and then have something very cheap to shoot. I have my little AR-15. I only have one, and I'm not a big AR fan, but you know what? Look, they're reliable. They work good. In the reality, once you put the 22 bolt in, probably about the same point of aim, you can practice a ton with it. They're a lot of fun, and you can shoot it cheap. So I think the pros are, for home defense, look, I love a shotgun, but for a lot of people, especially 12 gauge, that's a high recoil gun, where a 223 5.56 AR isn't going to be as bad. Stock, fully adjustable, so you can make it short, you can make it long, you can fit it more to you. 30 round mags are available. Ammunition's not terribly expensive. You can put anything on it. You can change, I was just talking about the Ruger 1022. The only thing probably more versatile than a 1022 is an AR-15. So a lot of good reasons to get one as a first gun. Again, I would probably get, if you're not going to get a 22, if you're only going to get one gun and it's got to be something to do as many jobs as possible and it's an AR-15, I'd say that. Cons are, I'm trying to think, like I said, I mean, it's definitely, they're constantly talking about trying to ban it, but I don't really ever think that's going to happen. Really not many cons. Cons are as a first gun, it's gonna be, unless you get a 22 conversion bolt, it's not gonna be the cheapest thing in the world to shoot. So I think that's a con, is you're gonna have to, even after you buy the gun, if you want to shoot it all the time and get good with it, and you don't want to shoot, you don't want to pay for 5.56 223, you're gonna have to go out and spend more money on a conversion bolt with extra mags and other stuff like that. So I think cost would be the con, is to get a decent mid-grade AR-15, you're going to spend a lot more than, again, like a Ruger 1022 as a first gun. So I know I kind of jumped around like that, but I think that's without thinking about it a ton, I think that's my thoughts on that. My own carry ammo. I worked in the trades and have learned. I actually, yeah, so for my Delta Elite, I carry my own hand loads that I worked up, because I wanted to tone in my Delta Elite with the proper load that I knew was going to be solid for it. Yeah, 1022 is definitely an icon for a reason. Don't worry, barbecue. You can give me some crap. I don't care. I shoot triple action. You know, there was actually, I forget what it was. There was a something I saw some video and I don't remember it, so it must not have been that interesting. But something was triple action. I don't even know how the hell it worked, but I did hear there was something triple action. I don't know what it was, but it was some. I'm sure it was just some weird thing. You totally ignored my comment about his sweaty lady holster. I don't think I saw that. I'm sorry if I ignored it. I didn't see it. Barbecue. Pro learning to shoot a rifle first is better for pistol shooting. Yeah, so I guess that's something I didn't even cover as far as the pro of a or con of an AR-15 is a rifle in general as the first weapon, the first firearm you get. Long guns are easier to shoot. Like if you go to a range, you're gonna have more fun, because handguns it's all about the grip and the sight alignment and trigger pull and all that. Where like while that's also important with a rifle, once you put it in your shoulder and you hold it up and you don't jerk the trigger, that you're going to be fairly enough accurate. So I could definitely see that as being a decent, as a good point. Thoughts on Mexican carry? Carry without a holster? Absolutely not. No, I do not recommend it in any shape or form. Here's a reality. I know a lot of people just, no appendix. I've done it a few times. It's not the smartest thing in the world, but that's why we practice proper trigger control. Mexican carry, assuming that's basically with no holster or anything, look, you know what? You don't know what your day is going to hold. And obviously, maybe you're just popping down to the store, but stuff can get in the trigger guard, it can fall down. I literally had my Kimber. I was carrying in a belly band, right? Which is basically the closest. It was like a thin belly band. It was the closest thing to Mexican carry you can get, and it fell out. And nothing sucks more than when you're out in public and you hear the clunk of a steel gun hitting the ground, and now it's made a noise. People are probably looking in your direction, and now you've got to pick up a gun and quick shove it in your waistband and hope that your day doesn't turn into a very long and aggravating experience explaining to the police that no, you weren't waving a gun around, and that woman that's screaming that you had a gun and were waving it, she's just hysterical. It just fell out of your pocket or your belly band or whatever, and you just were retrieving it. So I don't recommend Mexican carry at all. There's a version of the high power that is triple action. I'll have to look at that because I know I saw the one. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Is it the one, I think it's the BDA or something like that, where the mag has a thing on the end and you can turn this little thing at the back of the slide and it switches it from double single action. I actually have seen them and almost got one. I just couldn't bring myself because it was a weird novelty, but that's what you're talking about. I've seen them. It's kind of neat because it was supposedly designed that way because for the police departments and stuff, as they switched over all their people from revolvers, because at one point revolvers ruled the world, um, basically, like, for training purposes, you could switch the trigger to be double action only to help, basically old guys that carried revolvers for the last 20 years switch over to carrying a semi-automatic that had the same trigger. It's basically a single action pull with a hammer, double action. It's basically a single action pull with the hammer in double action position. Oh, so, okay, I should have read your next comment, sorry. But yeah, so that is something different, I think. That's interesting, though. I did see Yankee did that to his 11911 that, like, basically it switches to safety or something to where, like, you'll cock it and then you'll put the hammer down for carry, and then when you flip down the safety, it, like, flips back up the hammer. So I think I know what you're talking about. Even if that's what you're talking about, I apologize. I should have read the second comment. Good way to shoot triple action and needs triple antibiotics for a slide hammer bite. The worst I've gotten, it's pretty much healed, but I don't know if you see here. I put it on Facebook. I didn't talk about it, but so I tried some of that with my King Cobra. I tried some Gorilla Grip tread tape, and let me tell you, I fired 2 cylinders with 38 and 1 cylinder with 357 Magnum, and my hand was bleeding when I was done. It is very aggressive. I've since swapped it out for Talon, but if you're going to try that grid tape, I'd recommend trying with a lighter recoiling caliber because it is very aggressive. It is basically like 40 grit sandpaper with a rubber coating on it. Yeah, Mexican carry, I do not recommend it in the least. But yeah, you are always the bad guy, it seems like. You always see them, like, tucking it in a waistband. In fact, it's funny because I remember in Pulp Fiction, at the end when they had to change clothes and everything, they're in, like, like, house shorts, like, gym shorts. And they, like, tuck, I don't remember the caliber of their little 1911s, but they tucked them in their waistband, and I'm just like, I've wore gym shorts before, and they ain't holding up no 1911. But thoughts on American Carry? Tell you what, you explain to me what American Carry is, because I don't know, actually. Carrying Mexicans. I'm not even going to touch that barbecue. Because actually Arizona has quite a problem of that. The cover is the birthday barbecue he brought Mexican. This is going to get this is going to get ice involved, isn't it? I bet. Let's see, don't know if you see here. I feel like he did that on purpose, but I did have it coming. I don't know if that representing the comment I didn't see. I apologize. I was down. I might have missed it. I love grips that are like cheese graters. In that case, grid tape, Gorilla Grid tape. It'll rip your hand in. I'm in the car on the way back. Yeah, I gotta end this. I'm gonna end this in a few minutes because I have to do a few other things. But to the person on the way back from LAX, it's done. I put it back together, and I also administered. I administered the medications to the barkers. Oh, you're going to dinner. Oh, well, that seems lovely. You guys have a good time at dinner. Oh, I was gonna say, um, well, when you get back, have fun with dinner, and yeah. No, that was referencing you're showing your hand being tore up. Okay, now I gotta go back and read. I don't know what hang on, no, I meant carrying, no. Referencing your hand. VZ G10 grip. So I liked VZ up until about 2 months ago, and unfortunately I did a 28 or 23-minute video. I like their grips. I won't say don't buy them, but I will say this. The owner of that company, I don't know how much I can curse on my own live stream. He's a miserable SOB. I had an issue. I've had a couple of their grips. They're all gone now. And the one grip for my King Cobra, the machining on the outside was a little bit rough, nothing bad, nothing major, but well, for what they charge, I was kind of disappointed. And then I had a set I was trying out for my square butt end frame, my 6-inch 29. And I put the grips on, and they were so improperly fitting that in like 2 rounds, they like rubbed the bluing off the gun down. Yeah, sorry, allergies, down to bare metal, right? And I was really pissed because this was, a 6-inch pre-lock 29 is a very difficult to find gun thanks to Clint Eastwood movies. And basically, right, I called VZ and I said, hey, you know what? I guess these were improperly machined, whatever. Like, I'm really disappointed because, look, I've had a couple old shotguns that I'm removing rust off of, right? And how you do that is you literally take copper wool and you take the copper wool and you take, oh, hey,
Time to change your diaper.
what? Oh, Tang's in. Oh, so, wait, I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened. Staying with family. Um, family. So anyway, now I'm curious. I'll find out in a few minutes because I'm gonna end this soon. Yeah, I don't know what that means. So I said to VZ, I'm like, hey, I'm kind of annoyed here because to remove rust off blued finishes, you literally take copper wool or steel wool, you take hoppies and you rub that on the bluing, and when you're done, it doesn't leave a single mark on the bluing, right? So I said to him, I'm like, meanwhile, I'm rubbing guns with copper wool and it doesn't do anything. But meanwhile, your G10 blued grips ripped the finish off in 3 shots. Could you send me a blued pen? Right? And of course, I want to return this. So again, I'm not going to get into this because it's a 23-minute story, and I can't tell you. It was like an hour video I condensed in 23 minutes. But long story short, it ended with the president of the company refusing to get on the phone with me because I kept getting the runaround and the runaround and runaround until one of his employees was screaming at me that the reason that the grips damaged the gun was my fault because I should have sit there and checked to make sure that the end frame square butt grips fit on the end frame square butt Smith & Wesson. Again, I'm shortening this to I'm taking 95% out of the story, but it ended with him screaming at me and then hanging up on me. So I will never buy another VZ product again. Again, I realize this story probably makes no sense. It was a 23-minute video when I told the short version, but I don't. Instantly reaction to the what's going to eat? You forgot. California does have awesome food, like pretty good food. Chinese, it can be difficult to find proper East Coast Chinese, but just reading the comments of everyone giving me shit. Poor Slim, even my in-laws don't like the Hogue. So I actually really like Hogue, but I'll agree with you. I wish some of their grips were a little more aggressive textured. I actually, when I put a set on my 29-3 4-inch, and I really like them, but I wish they did like a diamond pattern because they do have texture on the sides, but something I've realized with shooting is that texture is important on the front backstrap and the front backstrap, the front and the back straps, the front of the grip and the back of the grip. There we go. Not really so much on the sides, which is funny because we put, texture on the sides, but still with the damn comments, Jesus. Oh no, my battery's at 20%. I'm gonna have to end this soon. So yeah, I really would love to see Hogue make a full diamond pattern, kind of like VZ did. But yeah, it would be nice to see that. Slim's diaper. No, I'm not wearing a diaper. You need a fresh diaper. If you can't laugh with family, what else do you have, right? Totally need a phone call recorder. So it's funny because I've started a series. I'll tell a funny story and then I guess I'll end this because my phone's gonna die and I have to do a couple other videos. So back when I was single living in Pennsylvania and I had a lot more free time than I have now, you get a lot of scam calls, and when you start picking up scam calls, you get more scam calls. So I was pretty aggressive in messing with scammers to the point where the one time there was this one call center they had, and it was set up where you could call back. I think it was one of those things where they would send you a text, and it's, oh, if you wanna get your new insurance rate, answer this text, blah 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 blah, or call this number. So anyway, you could call back to the call center. So my job, I had the ability to make phone calls, because I was working. Well, I can tell you now because they ain't gonna rehire me. I was working at the gas station for the grocery store chain, and you could talk on the phone because they didn't really pay much attention. So if I was bored and it was a slow night, I'd sit there for an hour and I'd redial this number, and I'd come up with fake names. I had voices. I had different characters. I had all of this shit lined up. And, it would be so elaborate, it was crazy, right? Is your refrigerator running didn't even come into the equation because I had 10 times better stuff, right? And only recently I did one video where, I gave my response, I was talking to somebody, and you have to watch it, but it was funny. And since then I thought, okay, you know what, maybe I'll start doing that again, not to the extent I was doing it, because, I have a life and a wife and, stuff to do. But I've not been able to get any good calls. Like, I've twice now, I've had like my other phone ready to record the call, to record the ending, and they've been lame. So it's unfortunate because I had some really good entertaining bits. Like, like I did different voices and characters, and, like got them basically it's funny because I get the insurance scam one, oh, we'll update your warranty or whatever. And to this day, I gave them a make and a model, right? Well, I guess I can tell you guys it's not that big a deal. It was like a 2008 Ford Focus, right? And I gave it with 70,000 miles, whatever the hell it was, right? This was this vehicle that they kept trying to put an extended warranty on. I've never owned a 2008 Ford Focus. And to this day, 5 years or more later, I still get calls and texts about my 2008 Ford Focus. That's how deep into their system I've embedded my fake information. That, and I still think I'm in Pennsylvania at an address that I didn't live at. Um, so, unfortunately, I used to get a really good amount of scam calls that I had some really entertaining responses. But since I've been trying to turn it into a video series, I can't get anything entertaining. Like that last one, like literally I forget the bit that I had lined up, and I was like saying it, and like they just like, oh, what, they're too dumb to realize what you're saying. So yeah, I should get a video recorder because it would help, or a phone call recorder because it would help with the new series if I ever get somebody entertaining enough to play with. I would like to find original Pebble Delta Elite grips. Yeah, they're actually tough to find. I almost had an original Delta Elite. The shop that God, the owner was such an asshole, and actually I think he made it into my why I don't support my local gun shop video. But it was an original 80s Delta Elite, and it had the pebble grips and everything, but the idiot scratch. So normally the idiot scratch, if this is the slide, right? We'll say this is the top of the slide. It's like right down here, like a little bit, right? Where the takedown lever is. Um, just thinking about the what? This scratch went a full 360, almost like someone was trying to screw in the slide release, and it was miserable looking, right? And it had other scratches and stuff, but the guy wouldn't budge off a very, very high, unrealistic price. So unfortunately, I ended up buying the 2011 production that I now have. But yeah, I'd love to find an original with the original grips because, hey, you know what? It's pretty iconic and cool. Before I decided to play, yes, before I decided to play with the wagon, I had a lot of spare time, and when you're bored, you pick up the scam calls to have fun with them. I have a 94 Delta Elite, but it came with Hogue grips. Keep your eye out, man. They do pop up. I know you had an issue with somebody trying to sell a cheap knockoff reproduction. Um, but I do see them. It's a shame I didn't know you were still looking for them. I think like a couple months ago, I did see an original set. eBay, excuse me. I highly recommend eBay. I think I'm gonna stop this at 651. But I have some other stuff to do. Um, now that I play with the wagon, or in this case, I play with the bike. But I would definitely try eBay and just daily, man. Daily keep looking because I've been looking for a couple holsters and a couple other things, and like the problem is stuff like that, it goes really quick because people will pay stupid prices for it. Yeah, with knowing that information, the next time I see a set, you will be the first person I tell. Um, but I unfortunately I thought that you I man, this is gonna like. I wonder how many like. First, you're trying to get me in trouble with government agencies, and now you're trying to get me in trouble with my wife. No, no, Angelina is not the wagon. I mean, okay, life with Angelina could be considered the wagon. Call it that. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know you were still looking for an original set. If that's what you're talking about, Woods. But no, Angelina is not a wagon. She is life with her is the wagon, basically. It's it's going out on an adventure, which is pretty cool. I mean, hey, that's why I'm sitting here in Southern California. Yes, it's an old joke which has unfortunately 7 minutes to go. I don't have do I have enough time? I guess I have because the owner of that shop is never going to I guess I'll tell the story. We heard you, now I play with the wagon. Okay, I guess I'll tell the story for the last 7 minutes. So the joke is, at one point in time, I was working at it was an indoor flea market in Pennsylvania that shut down. 100-year-old market, really cool. It's sold and then probably flattened right now. Um, I guess it was called Zern's, and it was pretty cool. And I was in there by myself. I had keys. I had full access to the whole damn building except for like two, security checkpoint spots. Um, then leaves 5 minutes for. So the place, I had trust. Basically, we'll say I had, I was entrusted with keys. I was entrusted to be in this building. They were selling. It was like a couple $1 million property or whatever it was. By myself because I was in I had people that recommended me, so I was trustworthy. So of course I respected that trust and I didn't violate it. So there was in this old building there was a older wagon that they'd used for marketing and different shit and whatever. But it was this old wood wagon, old covered wagon, and I wasn't messing with it, wasn't touching it because it was old, and I didn't want to break it and then have to explain to the guy that trusted me with keys to work in this building by myself that I got in this wagon that I had no business getting into and screwing around with and broke it. So they're like, certain people were, including my, including Woods, and other people, and then my, you know, someday to be wife were like, get in the wagon, play with it, play with it. And I'm like, no, no, no. And, look, I mean, I just didn't want to break it because it was a job I was doing, and I didn't want to break something and then have to explain that. So I never played with the wagon, right? And every time, did you play with the wagon? Did you play with the wagon? And no, 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 I wasn't. I wasn't getting in the wagon because I wasn't going to. I wasn't going to run the risk of breaking this old ass, decrepit wagon. So the joke became, basically to live a little, you gotta live a little, you gotta have fun, you're playing with the wagon. So, um, life goes on. I cleaned that place up, I was working in it, uh, God, the amount of stories I could tell you about that, are way more than the 5 minutes that are left. Um, so basically, I, uh, I finally played with the wagon when I ended up, moving out to California and then ended up marrying the person that kept telling me to play with the wagon. And now, I live in California for, a few years. And then I moved to, now I'm in Arizona for a couple years. And, just kind of all over the place, living life. But that's the short version of playing with the wagon. So basically, playing with the wagon means go out, live life, and don't worry about consequences. But still worry about consequences because hey, life. But especially in this economy, you got to be careful. But you know, that's pretty much. See you. He just called her the. Barbecue. Yes, it's a metaphor. That's a basically it's that I just spent 3 minutes explaining a metaphor. But I did not call her. I did not call my wife, who might still be watching this, a wagon. She is lovely, and yeah, she's a good wife, and yeah, it's that simple. She's yeah. But I've got about 3 minutes. I got 5 people watching. Thank you, everybody who watched this live stream. I actually got one shut down, and that was the whole big thing, but I learned one of the rules that's newer with YouTube as far as this kind of stuff. So I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't need to get shut down again. But I do plan on doing more of these live streams. I couldn't be prouder of you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, playing with the wagon is pretty awesome. You never climbed on the wagon there before you left? No, I did not. Here's the reality. Like, I got the job at that place because a friend of mine was really good friends with the manager of the building, and they got me the job working on that place, and it was a pretty good gig. And I was not going to start messing around because one, I didn't know the extent of security cameras. The place was run down, but even run down places nowadays have cameras. So I was not going to start screwing around with that because I was already, I was already like, you'd take breaks and stuff because the building was on air conditioned. So, you took breaks and stuff. So I was not going to, if I had broken something or done something like that I wasn't supposed to, one, it would have got me basically fired. Two, it would have got the person who was good friends with the manager, would have been a stain on their reputation because they recommended me. And then, I was kind of friendly with the manager himself because I met him through, the person that introduced me. So it would have basically been, it would have been it would have been like what the hell, you're better than this. Why are you like breaking our shit moment? She's amazing. Sleep with. Oh, hello. Hello, dog. Hello. Would you like pets? I have a friend here knocking over the tripod. Hello. Hello. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. Oh, you're gonna knock the tripod over. I will give you attention in a moment. Let's see. I saw your meet cute live on Hangouts. Yeah, again, that's a much longer story, but yeah, it was an interesting way to meet the person you're going to end up marrying. I would have totally played with the wagon. You know what? I probably would have been fine. I doubt it would have broken. It was probably fine. I just, it was one of those things where that job was like, that job kind of helped moving to California. So, like it wasn't something I wanted to jeopardize. But, looking back, I probably still wouldn't have, but maybe I should have, but I don't know. He did it a third time. Barbecue. I don't know. I got nothing. But anyway, it's been fun doing this live stream, talking to everybody. I appreciate everybody that has come and liked and watched and everything. Again, I'm gonna do more of these. I don't know how often I'm gonna do them because really I do it when I got nothing else to do, and I'm not like, oh, I just do it because I'm bored. Like I kind of do it when I'm bored because in reality, I just sunk an hour, like 107 minutes into a live stream. So like I do like doing them and talking to people, but usually I'm so busy. But I do plan to do more of these. Your lives are rad. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm still trying to figure out what I can do during them because I can't really show guns. And that's what got me shut down the last time. And I've heard different people. See you, Woods. Thank you for joining. I've done a little bit of reloading while live, but I've heard from different people that can get you in trouble. And I'd like to have something else to do because I realize at the end of the day I'm not that interesting. Like today it was, finishing putting this together, which I realize that to anybody that's not a 1 year old, that's not that interesting, but it's something to do. So I'm trying to figure out what else can I do while doing a live stream besides just talking to you guys, because then you guys have something else entertaining to watch instead of just me yapping in sunglasses now that it's like, in California it's 7 o'clock here, so it's like pretty dark and somebody's singing the Star Spangled Banner because there's a school across the way that I'm guessing is doing some kind of game or something. But yeah, I appreciate everybody stopping by. It's always fun doing live streams, getting to talk to you guys. And like I said, when I have time, I plan on doing more of these. Yes, the national anthem is playing. I think that's a good ending to the live stream is someone singing the national anthem. Um, you know, the channel's been a little bit patriotic. Although the funny thing is, I did a video when there was a downturn in views on the channel, and I was having trouble with everything, and I was really worrying about viewership. So I was literally at Mount Rushmore, and you know, not a green screen, not anything. Like I was legitimately at Mount Rushmore, and I did like a hey, you know, how's it going? You know, just trying to see, you know, kind of engagement thing. And I don't think a single person like paid attention to it. I guess they thought it was a green screen, that I was actually filming a video standing in front of Mount Rushmore. So I try and be patriotic, but sometimes I don't know if I think it goes over people's heads. I hope you survived the night, Slim. Yeah, me too. You know, the wagon comments. I mean, barbecue. I'd be more worried about her coming at you than me, because like I've already admitted that like I don't think she's the wagon, so it might be you, barbecue. Mount Rushmore is fake. You know, it's a lot smaller. Yeah, she did actually do a pretty good job. It's a lot smaller, and you know what I think it is? It's the fact that you see it on in pictures, and you always see it close up, right? And I mean, it's huge. Like it's massive. Like when you go, you know, if you go watch it, I'm not saying you have to go watch it because it's not that interesting of a video. But where I'm standing on the little platform that you get to look at it from, it's like it's huge in the rock face. Like I mean, you know, the faces you can see people standing, you know, working on like the eyes and stuff and the different parts of it, but you know it's not as big as you'd think it would look, and I'm sure when you get up close it's huge, but like compared to like the mountain it's on, it's actually kind of small, but it's still huge. I don't know, I'm sure people's thinking I'm saying it's small. It's not, but it's smaller than you would expect, I guess. But yeah, she did a pretty good job in that. It's inflatable like a bounce house. You know what, that'd be kind of funny to see if like you know, if like it popped one day and it was just like deflated. I'm just going off your words. But anyway, I will see everybody later. Thank you for watching, and y'all have a good night.